Hendrix. I'm back. Second session. Last session was on love. This session is on there's a shift, and it's unveiling what's behind the curtain. Because unfortunately, a lot of people are still asleep, amnesia, learning who they are, what they're here for, and I just want to break down some, you know, simple things that people pretty much know about, but give you a little bit of my perspective. What's happening in the world now, we have agents. Normally agents are people that are looking to pull you to a lower vibration, a lower level where you are pretty much at a sleep state. A lot of people go through a lot of transformation of forgetting who they are, and they're trying to fit in a group due to peer pressure or wanting to be accepted, and then they get caught up into the scenario of becoming a broken spirit, which makes you stagnant to becoming a angelic being that has risen to a higher vibration, since there's a shift happening on earth, as you know. So the body is already connected to Mother Earth, and with the body being connected, we must be ready for the next shift when it changes. And if you're caught up in the whole thing of I have to be like you, the next person, then you use that, and then that makes you unaware of what you're doing, and then you become almost a robot, you know. And what's sad is society, they start off looking at what they say, and then being the parent or being the person at home, you need to take care of what you feel is right rather than what they tell you. And the power of prayer is no longer relevant. It's more of, I'll give you these pills to make you feel better. I'll give you this drug to make you feel better. And then you become less connected to source. You know, so I definitely think jealousy is a big issue, because you have brothers against brothers, sisters against sisters, mothers against mothers, fathers against fathers, and fathers against sons, and cousins against cousins, and it's this vicious cycle of genocide, and it becomes almost a Judas and Jesus scenario, or a Tupac and Biggie scenario, or you can look at it even Martin Luther King standing for peace, and then they're assassinating him, thinking they're assassinating the masses, but it's really a manipulation of the media to make it look like that. You know, because we will never die. Angelic beings, spiritual beings are here to spread the light to people that are unaware of the light, because we have been darkened into a dark age of horror movies. Everywhere you go, you see the horror movies, even after Halloween. Like, everything needs to be a Halloween day rather than a spiritual day, and anything that is good has to be bad. And so now everyone's looking for a bad girl, and every girl is looking for a bad boy, and then you end up getting the abuser to keep abusing you, and then of course it'll abuse your daughter or your son the same way, because they're watching you. So unfortunately, they're vibrating at a lower level. The chakra level is lower, and then they're not able to activate the crown chakra, which is ultimately what connects you to source, to help activate the wings. And meditation is very important for that. You get rid of the negative thoughts, you get rid of the communication through the media, you get rid of what people around you are trying to tell you you should do or what you are. So it's very important to stay still, meditate, and get closer to the source. And like I said before, you have people like Roy Masters that have inspired. You have the Edgar Tolles, the Deepak Chopra, Professor Griff, Black Dot, Martin Luther King. You know, there's a whole lot of people that have inspired and sparked the light in me to want to give you more info on how the world is pretty much in a hypnotic state, and it's pretty much caught up in this fear factor. You know, ever since 9/11, everyone's been caught up in this, do whatever you need to do, but slowly they're taking away our liberties and our rights, and we're becoming robots, and we're becoming cage animals, because of course more people are being imprisoned because they are so caught up in this whole swag movement. Everyone wants to be this Machine Gun Kelly, where they want to be known as this big, bad, tough person, which of course puts you in the category of a terrorist, and then they, of course, tear you apart when you get in jail. And you know that how that is, and it's not a good place for people like me and everybody else that's trying to live a prosperous and peaceful life. And back to the, you know, basics of what I was trying to tell you guys, it's very important to look through the illusions and know that it's all fear. And pretty much the fear is what they are using to control us through our emotions. You know, we are the originators of the earth. We are different types of nationalities, but at heart, we are spiritual beings that are brought together to bring love, peace, and harmony. But yet they're trying to change the harmony through using these icon figures to manipulate the masses to bring them to a lower vibration, a lower frequency. And then you have people that are looking at these different artists that are doing a lot of demonic, satanic things, and they're doing rituals right in front of you, and no one can ever see it because they're so caught up in this is cool, but it's really destroying us at a lower chakra level, which gives us no ability to fly. You know, it affects the heel, and if it affects the feet and the heel, it affects the lower part, and then that puts you almost into a lust, and you forget about love because the only thing you're doing is lusting after whatever it may be materialistic. And that's why, if you look at it, we are living in a different type of world, which is digital, more like a matrix, you know. And you can look at a lot of artists that used to do that. You had Outkast, you had The Roots, you know, you had Talib Kweli, you know, Most Def. But unfortunately, there's a lot of artists that are showing up, doing good in the beginning, and all of a sudden they do this transformation into the alter ego, which allows whatever force or demonic force to jump in them, and they, of course, subtract the real them, and it becomes a robot. And that robot is pretty much like a Judas that betrays whoever thinks that it's good. And it's slowly assassinating the young people in America and in the entire planet, because we're starting to idolize the actual artists than we are getting in tune to the source. So there you have it. That's the distraction away from the source. And it's causing mayhem all over the world. Of course, there's a shift happening. There's so many people that are caught up in, I need to be richer than rich, and they're hypnotized by the fame, and they think that they have to do better than the next, and they feel like they have to rub it in your face. So that causes more of an ego, more of an egotistical way of thinking. And then, of course, you look at even the radical religion people, they are actually using a lot of, combining with a lot of the dark side without even knowing. And of course, they're no different than they are. So you can't tell who's who. So that's why I say it's important to meditate. And once you meditate, then you can get the message clear. You can understand what information is being thrown at you, what type of frequencies is being thrown at you, and you're able to decipher between the two. Of course, using the intuition to understand that the agents are here to try to convert you to the dark. You must stay true to who you are and stand for truth and stand for peace, and, you know, be who you are, because you want to make a difference in the world. You want to be a blessing to others. Peace.